What's up, YouTube? Bubbles and Ball Cards is back, and we got Carlos and the wonderful Mr. Eric joining us. Might have a couple others hop on. We'll see how things go. But Happy New Year to everybody. Obviously, it's January 2nd. We are already kicking ass in 2023. How was you? How was your gentleman's year started? I know Eric's already complaining about his. How was yours starting, Carlos?
Pretty good. Today was kind of chill. I always love the first like official day of the year. We get it off. Similar post office gets it off too, but we get the bank gets it off. So stuff's still open, but at the same time, it meant that I could start cleaning some stuff around the office. Still need to do some more work. I'll do some more tonight and get myself ready so that I can go in full speed ahead tomorrow.
How was yours, Eric? I know you said you were working, but your Bruins won the classic, so
Yeah, I drew the short straw and had to work a 9 hour day while the majority of the other people I work with went to Fenway Park and saw the game live. And we don't even have a TV at the store, so I missed the entire thing.
well that sucks. I'm gonna add in another guest that asked if he would like to join in. I don't know if you gentlemen are aware, but what's up, Jason from JMac Sports Cards? I thought he would be a good one to have on too. New year. I know he's done a video talking about some goals that he wants to do with eBay.
What's up, gents?
Hello,
How's your new year started off there? Can you hear us?
I think he's got a little bit of an audio delay. I don't know if he can hear us.
Yeah, it was pretty good. It was low key. Just
Yeah.
hold on.
Yeah.
Just an audio delay, which happens sometimes. It's not a big deal.
Yeah. Your audio is delayed there, Jason. Let us know whenever if you can hear it in real time. But your guys won. I know you had to work. You guys had a good comeback, 1 point game. The missus has already made it known and aware to me that 2024 the Kraken are hosting the
yes.
Winter Classic. So she's already figured that out. And yeah. So anyway,
Can't wait to
chat
see
here.
it.
Sean says he is first, and Michael Ham says he is second.
Facts.
Sean says that that sucks, Eric. Hopefully your sacrifice is rewarded.
I would also pitch for a TV in the place. Although you could always cheat. Like this is serious old story from when I used to work retail all the time in the store. Now this is back in the olden days where streaming was a lot more difficult. We had a cheap broken ass computer, but it did have internet, and we had really rudimentary streaming. I actually had the password. I paid for streaming back then. This was like late 2009 2010 time period, so it's really garbage. However, I could play the audio in the store, so we could listen to the game while stuff was going. So at the bare minimum, I could like see a really kind of pixelated game while the audio was operating properly. So kind of a cheap workaround to at least I can check out what's going on.
I could have either used my phone, my computer, or just turned the radio on and listened to the game locally. But I really wanted to watch it, and just unfortunately, it just didn't pan out. But that's okay. Hopefully, there'll be a
The
rebroadcast of it, and I'll catch it.
missus says, "Hi guys, hello BFF. She's sorry you missed the classic." Um, Global Sports Card Investor said, "What's cracking, my hobby amigos? What's up, Global Sports Cards?" And then we have a guest appearance from Mrs. Wade herself that has tracked down her son.
Hmm.
She says she has found you and you cannot hide.
These are facts.
So
For the
Yeah,
record,
hope she
for the
is having a
record,
good evening. Hope you guys.
for
I
the
know
record, I've committed to
you
being
got a
nice. So
date
I
with
have nothing to do
her
with that.
to watch the game. So I hope you guys enjoy that
So
upcoming.
one of the things I really enjoy doing with my mother is we watch football together, and there's a big game on tonight. And I told her that however this works out, I'm going to be down there at 9 o'clock, and we'll watch the rest of the game. So I'm looking forward to doing that and spending time with her and catching a really good game tonight. So at night,
I told him that he didn't have to have a full commitment, that he could go enjoy the game with his mama. So
It actually looks like a decent game, heaven forbid. Actually,
yes.
decent teams and everything.
And then, of course, next week, the Patriots make the playoffs if they beat Buffalo. So I figured, is Buffalo not going to show up?
It'll be interesting to see if Josh Allen plays or sits. But
yeah, how else
Ryan
in
says,
the world are the Patriots going to beat Buffalo? Come on.
Ryan says, "What's up?" Josh says he's just here to hit the like button for Eric. Mrs. says she's listening, currently working. She is making a wreath. She's deconstructing the Christmas wreath to make a Harry Potter wreath. Bravo says Happy New Year. Sean says he's conflicted. He does not like rooting for the Bengals tonight. Mrs. says Happy New Year. Looks like we got J-Mac back. Can you hear us now? Is it better, brother?
Doesn't seem it.
Yeah, it looks like you're still on a delay. Oh, now it says device is not connected. He didn't shut everything down.
That's the tricky part about live
Hey
streams.
guys, probably about to leave those since there's an awful lot of Bruins stuff on my screen. Oh, that's not me or Carlos. So, Bravo says I'm trying to win fantasy league tonight. Need Mixon to score 5 or less. Well, good luck with that. I'm guessing it'll probably be a shootout. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how it works. I'll tell you this. I am very displeased with football. Even though my Ravens are in the playoffs, I've always made a commitment that says, I don't care if they only win 2 games all year. As long as they beat Pittsburgh, both games, it's a successful season. And once again, the Ravens of 2022 has been nothing but consistent, and we lost inside of 2 minutes. It is, I think, what is that, their 5th time this year? 4th or 5th time they've lost inside 2 minutes, and it's just disheartening. But they lost to the Steelers. It sucks, but it is what it is. The missus says, hello, Mama Wade. Michael Ham says, Happy New Year's, Miss Bobbles. Orlando, what is up, good sir? How are you doing? Again, congrats on 1,000 subs. If you haven't subscribed to him, Collector's Dream, Orlando, he did break the 1K mark. So congratulations on that, sir.
Also watch his top 50 cards. Like, it's really good. If you guys like vintage and a lot of nice cards, there's some really good stuff in that top 50. There's 2 videos. Watch them. There's some good stuff on there.
A lot of knowledge there too, and you can tell an appreciation for the hobby in general. As you know, like, he pops onto people's channels that aren't even vintage focused or even talk vintage. He's a big part of the YouTube community, but also enjoys cards. So Ryan says LSU is up 63-7 in their bowl game. I don't know which one they're in, but it doesn't sound like that's much competition. Chad said Carlos just had to have a row by himself.
That was part of my retainer. I have an agreement. My agreement was I personally sabotage J-Mac.
And
Sean says
you had to, you wanted a bowl of M&Ms and all the red ones had to be removed.
And I received that. So thank you, Bobbles.
And I thought that was, a little uppity of you, but all right, whatever.
Hey, listen, you work cheap. I have standards, sir.
Yeah.
Give me a thumbs up, Jason, when you can hear us and it's not delayed. All right. We got him back.
You good now?
Got you now. Yeah, got you.
I'll touch on this in a second. How was your New Year, sir? And thanks for joining us goofballs over here.
Thanks for sabotaging it, Carlos.
It's gotta be, look, buddy, I wanted a row to myself. It is what it is. Like, if we had a third row, we could have arranged it, but like, I was working with what I got.
No doubt. Good to meet you all. Like, I watched you guys as well and stuff. So good to meet you. New Year's was good. It was good. I hung out home, at home pretty much. That was with the fam. So, and I live in Central Time now. So at 11 o'clock, we commenced the youngest that was 12 o'clock. So the ball dropped. Got to do it a little early.
Hey, man, whatever works. So
right.
I wanted J-Mac to come on because it is the new year. We both He's obviously got more tips and tricks that he's thrown over on his channel, but I thought it would be good to kind of have a conversation because it's always great to set goals in the new year. And I know he did a video discussing what you wanted your eBay stuff to get to and all of that. I think it's great what you're kind of doing, showing some of the insights, sharing the sales, sharing the tools you're using to help others out. So that's kind of why I wanted to get you on, have a conversation. Then we got the other guys that just talk in general, start the year off right. But I'll get back to Sean's question real quick. He said, so I guess the theme today is hobby addiction. Hi, Sean. Hi, I'm Sean and I love cards. I'm guessing he's alluding to Dustin's video.
Mhm.
I watched it. I don't want to get into a deep take on it because addiction in the hobby is real.
It is.
I don't know, like everything Dustin's bought, he shared some cards like in his videos and stuff. He shared some cards in the Discord, and he makes Instagram posts and stuff. But I don't know the depth of what he buys, or it could be a thing where maybe his wife knew he was buying it, but he didn't tell her how much it was. I don't know. I don't want to get into details of it because everybody's different. I said that in a video recently.
Yeah, what do you think? He's dealt with addiction in terms of the understanding of it, so he's got a bit of a professional connection to that.
So let me just, I'll tell you this, and I haven't seen the video, so I can't comment on that or anything he said. But addiction in the hobby is real. Unfortunately, we saw a lot of it, and it ruined a lot of lives these last couple of years. And I'll give you the definition of addiction, and it's not the traditional kind of funny one. It's really this. It's any behavior that results in negative consequences of any kind, yet you continue the behavior and it continues to result in negative consequences, and you end up in this cycle of abuse. So whether it is collecting cards and putting yourself in debt, lying to your spouse, about how much you're spending, skipping work to go to the card shop, whatever it is, that's addictive behavior. And an addiction is an addiction is an addiction, and it doesn't matter what the addiction is. The psychology is all the same, and the treatment is mostly the same.
That's kind of why I said I didn't want to speak on Dustin's behalf, because I don't know really what it boiled down to in the sense of what he's dealing with or what prompted him even to make the video. I will say you are 100% correct. Addiction in the hobby can be 100% real because there's a gambling aspect to a lot of it. And I, at one point, and the missus, she was right there doing it with me, but breaking. We were buying into breaks, and I was chasing, of all stupid people, Manny Machado. When it was rumored that he was being traded and this, and I was chasing Manny Machado, and I kept losing. Like, I would hit everybody but Manny Machado, and it broke me down to where I one day broke down and said, I'm done. I want to get rid of everything to do with sports, everything to do with sports cards, bobbleheads, everything. I wanted it all gone. And she talked me out of it. We reevaluated things, went in a different path. And now I realized you can do breaks. You just got to do them responsibly, just with everything else. But there's other ways to enjoy this without specific pieces. So, it's always something good to at least talk about, and everybody's situation is going to be different. That's why I don't want to speak on his behalf or what exactly was regarding in his video, because I don't truly know. Obviously, there's a problem that he presented and came out and did a video on it. So
I do want to say that it won't be pertaining to Dustin, but I do actually want to discuss this topic, and I will do so a little bit on Friday. Not specifically relating to Dustin, because again, I don't know his situation, and I'm not asking. It's not my business. But I think there is a discussion that can be had about the general idea, and I think that there is within the truncated short timetable on Friday. I feel like we'll find a couple minutes to squeeze it in there.
Yeah, I would like to participate in a conversation like that. Sure.
I think and I've got that in the back of my head, and Eric and I will compare some notes, and I think we can have a discussion about it. There's some
Yeah.
opportunity there.
Yeah, and it's always good to talk about it. And anybody
Mhm.
out there, if you're watching and you feel that things are overwhelming you, or if you feel like you're getting yourself into a predicament, never be ashamed to step back a minute and just reevaluate everything, because sometimes just evaluating what you're doing, you can still find that you could have fun. You just have to adjust what you're doing. So, um, what's your take on it, J Mac?
Yeah, I mean, just from watching the video, it seems like I mean, because Dustin puts out a lot of content, so and making content is time consuming. So it was like he sounded like he was getting out in front of it becoming a major issue with the time he spends between making videos and then researching cards for the videos and then researching cards to buy, and all that stuff was compounding. So it sounded like he's kind of getting out in front of it, and yeah. So it kind of like what everyone is saying. It's good because it's now becoming a topic of discussion for a lot of people. But it sounds like he's just manning up about it within his family.
Right, right. So,
I don't
all right.
recall. I don't recall the gentleman who did it, but early on in the boom, um, there was a gentleman who did a couple of YouTube videos on his channel, and went into great detail of his card addiction and the trouble that it was causing him. And he did a really good job of it. And of course, there's a lot of people, and I use this term as defined, not as an insult, please, that are ignorant to the psychology of addiction, don't understand it, and we're leaving a lot of ignorant comments for him on his videos. But I watched all of them at the time, and I thought he did a really good job. Really put himself out there. It was very brave of him, and I'm gonna maybe try to remember or try to find out um, who who who's the gentleman who did that, because he did a really good job talking about what he was going through, the money he was spending, the deception he was participating in, and the trouble he was getting himself in, and those negative consequences. So this isn't a new topic. The first time I saw videos of card addiction, hobby addiction, was shortly after the boom started.
Now
Yeah.
there is, I don't know if it's the one you're thinking of, but there was a guy who did, and I've got it beside me on the screen here. It's How Basketball Collecting Nearly Ruined My Life: The Dark Side of Card Collecting. It was by a guy named George Wiley, and it has 186,000 views. So it was about a year and change ago.
It's
So
probably the
that,
guy.
yeah, so that was a big one. And I will also tell you, so since I've got the references, I do love my references when we can pull the correct one. There was also a discussion on Bench Clear: Are sports cards destroying your life? So that may be referencing that video as well. So that might be basically, if you type in the words sports card ruined, you'll probably get those amongst the first two.
Yeah.
I'm
Okay.
I'm just giving you guys a quick Google fool lesson to direct you to. Those are the first two that came up for me.
I'm
Now,
going to tell you,
go ahead, Bubbles. No show. Go ahead.
in my position of it, it was actually a blessing, because when I realized where I was doing things, I guess you could say wrong, and it was too easy. Like, you can sit here and buy into breaks like from your phone over, and it was literally like a slot machine right there in front of you. And again, if you do it, responsibly, it's a lot of fun, and you can, get some cards from the team you like or players you like or whatever. But when you start chasing, and it's the same thing as pulling that arm on that slot machine and you're chasing that jackpot, when you get into that pattern, it's very it can put you in a lot of financial debt.
Mhm.
And this happened to us a couple years before the boom. And I transitioned out. We recognized the issue, and luckily I have a spouse that enjoys this with me,
Yeah.
and we do this together. There's no hidden, what am I spending on something? She knows, like, she buys just as much, if not more, than I do. So it wasn't like anything hidden, but it was the burden that it was putting on, right? And then it also became, it wasn't fun, because every time we hit something, I was selling it. So it was like, what in the hell is the point of this?
Right.
So we recognized that we shifted, and it's actually if it wasn't for that experience, I might not be in the position where we are today, because I could have continued down that path, or I may have just gave up altogether and said, screw this, I'm done. So that again, if you have a problem, it's okay. Just recognize it and figure out how you can adjust yourself to make it enjoyable, but not to an extent that it could get you in any kind of financial, relationship, mental struggles or anything. So just putting that out there. It's okay to recognize it.
Okay, now one quick thing I want to add though is that the presumption is always that it's about the gambling aspect and it's breaking. You could 100% have an addiction to buying.
Oh
Doesn't
yeah,
have to be
yeah.
breaking. It can be singles. It doesn't make a difference.
I was
It's just
speaking on my part on that. Yeah.
totally. But I'm just saying that that's the reason why I don't want to go down that rabbit hole right this minute. That's why we'll say Mrs. Bobble said, the short timetable of my show. Like I barely got any time, but I will find some time in there. We'll squeeze in a quick conversation about it.
Right.
Obviously I could go on with 20 years of experience in treatment and being a counselor and a therapist. I could go on for the next 6 hours and do a full Carlos show just on this topic. This is the last thing I'll say about it is, for anyone who's listening or may watch this in the future, that we're talking about this or more on Friday, it isn't when you lose the house that you have the problem. It's the first time you can see any type of negative consequence, and that could be very small, it could be big. It doesn't mean you have to wait until you lose the house, then say, okay, I have an addiction and I have a problem. The first time you lie to your spouse, that's bad. There's an issue there. The first time you hide money, you get a separate account, you have a problem. Stop doing what you're doing, because it's going to lead to losing the house.
Or the first time, even sometimes thinking bad about, like, as Carlos alluded to, buying. You buy something and then you question it or whatever. Maybe think, was it okay? Were you just questioning it, or was it really bad? But let's get to some questions here, and then we'll move on. Great from all three of you. And it is a good topic, so I'm glad that people are recognizing it. Props to Dustin for putting it out and getting it out there. Bravos asked, when is the next sub? Sean answered, January 12th is the due date to us. That is next Thursday, not this Thursday, but next Thursday. We wanted to make sure people had time to get the stuff in the mail and to us. He said, J-Max in the house. Sean says he's in the card shed, definitely liking the direction your channel is headed. Looking forward to more. It is a different take on the hobby, but I think it's helping people out. I think people are interested in it. It's kind of cool. You even admit it, that you wanted to transition in a different direction, do something different. And I think people will enjoy seeing like what's selling and what you're doing, how you're doing it, and all that stuff.
Well, not only that, I'm enjoying the community that's kind of like following in, like, and it's one of the reasons I transitioned, because I mean, a lot of the little sectors of the sports card YouTube community is already kind of carved out, but then I just saw that like the reseller community is huge, like non-sports cards, right? So I figured, it was one of the driving motivational things about taking this direction, is that I could kind of go into that community, and with the sports card community, it's a way to kind of. But anyway, what I was saying is, there's a bunch of people that are. I mean, I'm learning with the people that are learning with me, So there in the videos that I'm doing now, the conversations are pretty awesome. I mean, I'm getting feedback all the time and learning from people in the comments on the video. So that's always a good thing, right? So yeah, so that's one of the reasons I took that angle, is because, like I said, it's a lot of. I mean, I don't. There's so many people making the same kind of content, wanting something different, and I'm looking at it being a bigger expansion for the channel, like broader base than you could get just being a sports card YouTube content creator. You know what I mean?
Sure. Are you going to go into outside of sports card? Are you, because I watch some of the flipper channels too, that like they do the
yard sales,
Amazon return pallets, or garage sailing or Goodwill thrifting or all that stuff? Are you going to go down that route, or are you just going to try to focus just on your sports cards and that kind of stuff?
I mean, mainly, I really want to, I got the goal to get 50,000 listings, and that's all sports cards. So I want to get that and see how that takes off, and then, I mean, yeah, maybe expand, but more than likely, I could take the same kind of angle that the resellers do, but with sports cards, going to flea markets and only looking for sports cards, going to, the like similar stuff, but have the sports card angle of it.
Gotcha. Let me get to some comment or some comments real quick. The chat. Rev says even more so, grading is an addiction in the making. Grading adds another element, and even as a bulk submitter, I will say this: a lot of times people grade cards, and you'll see it's almost like just to see what they can get. They hope for that 10, and if it's the 9.5 or the 9 or whatever, it's a shock. It's a disappointment. And so I think it adds another element of surprise. Like you open the pack, that's the first element. You get the, whether you get the card and then you send it in and then the grade on it and then what can you sell it for? There's like many stages to elements of surprise on it. So he's not wrong. It's not what it's intended for, though. So if that's what it's being more used for, that likely needs to be adjusted. Sean says addictions always have battles, discipline. You have to set strict boundaries and be willing to tell yourself no. Chad says, so what I'm hearing is Dustin needs shock therapy.
Yes, definitely.
Again, I don't know all the details. I know he goes in that hot tub a lot. I don't know if
well, don't use a toaster. That's a bad idea. That is a terrible idea. Horrific idea. Yeah. Take that out. Cut it all.
FOMO is part of it also. The odds are on the box should be telling what you're actually buying. If the odds were on the box, Panini doesn't give those, and Topps is tricky with them.
Would you prefer that Panini finally just gave you what you really wanted? Just put it on the side. Stuff happens. Something will happen. Give it a go. See what happens.
I mean, not to get into too many details, but I've heard from multiple sources that they just give boxes to specific people. Anyway,
and I'm trying to get on that list. I'm trying so hard.
I was trying to get Billy to like hook me up,
Look, I've been working that angle for a while, Bobbles. Get to the back of the line. I'm at the front of this line working that angle.
Sean says, agreed, Michael, especially now when social media allows you to see all the cool cards others are getting and pulling. That's very true.
The keeping up with the Joneses thing, though, is a legitimate thing. And like I said, we will go down that rabbit hole a little bit. That's why I say, like, it's not just breaking. Breaking's too easy. Don't forget, there are other angles you can take.
In all seriousness, again, as a looking at this kind of with my professional hat on, Carlos is very correct. He's absolutely correct. Mm-hmm. So now, when I have my professional hat on, I act professional and I don't joke around. As soon as it comes off, that's when I go back to making fun of Carlos. But at the moment, the hat is on, and Carlos is
at the moment. He just wants y'all to hit the like button because he enjoys the invoices. That's what he really meant to say.
At the moment, he likes the invoices, yes.
Rev says breaking is so addictive and why he never did it. He moved away from hobby products because the chase is not worth it. Again, if you do it responsibly to have fun, it's okay. It's no different than opening, a blaster or anything else, just in different pricing points. But if you get into it where you're addicted and chase, that's bad.
Yeah. One quick point I'll make for you, Bubbles. One quick point I'll make, and this is just kind of based off a conversation we had earlier today, because a lot of what you do is based on operating in a very specific way. You figure out what works for you, and you kind of roll down that path. Mm-hmm. I pulled up, and I'm keeping this article in my back pocket for later. They've run numbers on it. Consumer credit for anything. I'm not talking about mortgages. I'm not talking about whatever. Consumer credit went up 15%, highest ever. It's ever increased during this time period of the pandemic. It's not just people buying cards, it's people buying retail therapy is at an all-time high, and most of it is on credit. Just bear that in mind. People buying stuff is not limited to one category, but this is one category where you could very much do it. And when you and I were having the discussion, you're asking, like, why would somebody pull out their credit card to buy a new couch? Why would somebody pull out a credit card to buy a new TV when they don't need one? It's the same thing.
Reward
all the
points, I think, have gotten people hooked to using credit cards too.
Oh,
People have been hooked on using credit cards forever.
yes.
This is
Yeah.
only the highest level of what it's ever been. Reward points are the excuse, but there's a lot of reason to it. That's why I say there's a
Yeah.
deeper conversation to be had, and we'll have the time to do it later on.
Collectors, he's also touching on the breaking part. Dakota says, "What's up, J Mac? Glad Bobbles finally has a good guest."
I
Slap
agree.
to Carlos and Eric over.
I agree.
I'm ignoring him. You weren't even. He wasn't even invited.
I agree.
Rev says, "A collector's dream, you're correct. I moved into raw to grade to consigning, and it's paying off at the moment." Michael Ham says, "Good one." Brian Bertrand said, "The sports card dad."
Yeah, Dustin.
Yeah, we were talking about Dustin
Yeah.
and just discussing the topic he brought up in his video today. Sean says, "Hi, Dak. Better grab some Skylar Thompson cards." I think that's the K-State guy that Sean likes. Randy said, "This is for J-Max. Should I go with the Fujitsu scanner that Bo has or the Epson since you figured out the top loader soft sleeve hack?" That is a question on the scanners.
Yeah, I replied to him in the comments. I was like, if you can, you can pony up the Fujitsu, because I also learned that the Fujitsu you can actually I haven't seen anybody do it, but you can scan slabs through the document feeder. So it's a Cadillac. So if you got it in the budget, it's
Is that the one that's like $1,400 or something like that?
It's $9.99.
Okay, yeah, I was looking at a bunch of different ones. Let me ask this real quick, since that's on there. And Carlos, he actually asked me about the scanner thing. How much inventory approximately do you have?
Me?
Yeah.
I don't know. I believe. So I know I'm making all the content, but my wife, she's helping organize the collections right now, because it's kind of honestly, I don't know. Probably in my the card shed here, I probably have 30,000 cards, but I've got another couple crates. I don't know, like big storage tubs full of 3 and 5 rows that are in storage as well. So I don't know. I would probably say 50,000 cards, 100,000 cards, something like that.
Is it all
And
like
a lot of it's.
I'll have to send you some pictures through DM or something at some point and show you, because I have quite a bit.
Yeah.
But I got to get them better organized for the listing stuff. So that's kind of why I haven't dove into a scanner yet.
Yeah, and so I don't know if Sanderson, you were gonna ask if it's all, this is all like picked over like stars and but there's still, like, as we're sorting it and going through it, I actually picked up on what you said, Bobbles, and in the, I don't remember when you and JD were live on your live stream, and so I'm taking and like I'm going through all of the inventory, and so what we're doing is we're organizing by product by year. So if it's 2020 optic, and sport product year, and then so I'll get whatever, I got 200 300 optic 2020s basketball. So I'm taking what is eBay worthy, like you said, about $1 or $2 and up.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and so let's say it's 50 cards out of the 200 or $1 or $2 and up. Then the rest I'm going to list on buysportscards.com.
Okay, that's a good way of doing it. Yeah, because it's super simple to list on there. So,
right. But I guess the like I said, the front end of all this is like organizing everything, so that pre-organizing it. So as we scale, it's already going to be organized. So
yeah.
I think that's real key to actually scale. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I got to get better at that part of it. I need to employ like Eric or something. He says he does some of it, so maybe we can tie it in with the like button invoice, and
now you're thinking.
Just charging to help me.
No.
Rev said many will be gambling on Brock Purdy and Stidham of the Raiders. That is why I moved into hockey. I love to break, and hockey will not break you. Sean said definitely recommend creating a separate account only for sports cards. I had this discussion earlier with some folks. I highly, I've always recommended this, especially Like since we do group subs, I have an account just for that. Then I have an account for bills, and then I have an account that I can, buy cards or whatever with.
It is
So
also, by the
highly
way, like
recommend that.
like I said, we'll avoid the bigger topic until later on in the week. But it also does give you a better sense of when you think, well, how much am I actually spending on card? If you have an account that's
Yep.
specific for that, you will know the truth very quickly. It's like,
Right.
oh, that much. And then you
And-
might be surprised. It may come as a bit of a surprise what it actually is.
Let's see. Sean says he loves that you're showing the $1 to $10 cards are not a waste of time. They are amazing sells. Amazing sells.
I just bought a
Mhm.
ton this week. I started a new collection. I'm going to collect the rookie cards of every Bruins goalie from 1924 till present. And
Damn, that'd be cool.
yeah, well, some of them,
Some of them play like 10, 15 years. So how many do you approximate that there will be?
I have the list on the screen behind this screen, so I can't look right now, but it's going to be 100 maybe.
That's not too terrible.
But there's guys who played one game.
Well,
there's guys who played 5 games. So
and it's the Bruins, so it should be pretty cheap.
Wow. Okay. I've said this before, and now it's starting again.
It's personal.
On, and I can't even blame Carlos this time.
No, you can't. That's the best part.
No, and I am as shocked as you, Carlos. I come on here, I say I want to play it straight, and you keep pressing the buttons. So you want to get Bougie Eric going. Bougie Eric's going to show up.
I thought the B was for Bobbles and Brandon, not Bougie.
I'll tell you what the B's for.
See, Bobbles, this is on you. This is on you. I bear no responsibility for anything that just occurred.
Carlos was being good, and I can't even believe I'm even saying this, but you unleashed the monster now. I came on your stupid show. I wanted to play it straight, and all you had to do is poke the bear.
Hey, J-Mac, I like where this is all gone.
Hey,
and I love that I had to expend no energy and I just sit back and let it happen.
That's right. We just spectacles. We get to enjoy the show, right?
This is great.
This show.
I love this Bobbles. This show is the greatest. This is my favorite Monday show of all time.
Hey, it's new though.
I stand by my words. You can quote me on that.
And Gloria says, I wonder if Dustin's awakening is just the stage we are in as a market as a whole. More people likely to cut back spending this year.
I agree with him, but there is a deeper conversation in all seriousness. I think there is an element to it, but I think he's oversimplifying.
I think it's people reevaluating, and I've done this. It just, a couple months ago, I said I was skinning the fat off a lot of my collection stuff. And as Sean alluded to, the $1 to $10 card stuff, people are out there buying the hell out of these cheap cards.
Mm-hmm.
So it is just as fun buying a $5 card as it is a $500 card. I don't know if it's that people are going to necessarily be less active in the hobby. They just may learn that they can enjoy things that aren't expensive or extravagant. And instead of more just worried about, well, is this going to be an investment? They can just focus on it more for the fun aspect. I think that's more of where things are venturing to. Brian here says he set up at his first card show in New York City a few weeks ago. A lot of interest in hockey, New York Ranger stuff. Popular team, young team, no surprise. Hockey is a lot more popular than folks realize. So look at that right there. Boom, cha-ching, eBay goes off. It's a beautiful sound when you hear that register. It's been
J-Mac turned it off. He goes, I don't need that infernal racket all day and all night. Ting, 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 ting.
It's been a slow day for me on eBay. eBay's been slow today.
All right,
gotcha. Mine's been going crazy today. Let's see. First card show as a dealer, he-men. Well, congrats on that. I tried doing being a dealer and setting up at shows. I'll be honest, I didn't. It's nice for people to approach you, but I didn't like being tied to a table. I like walking around and talking to dealers and seeing everything that's out there, and more of that style when I go to shows. So
my biggest question for dealers, especially new dealers is this. And I asked this question the dealers that I know, because you don't want to ask somebody you don't know, but did you make enough to pay for the table? So I'm asking you that. I don't want to know how much. I don't want to know how much the table was. I don't want to know how much you made that day. Did you make enough to pay for the table? And if you did, and you made maybe some extra for your pocket, that could be a successful day to a lot of people.
Right,
But
right.
if dealers keep going weekend, and they're not even making enough to pay for the table, because depending on the size of the show, these tables can get extremely expensive. We're going to lose dealers. So
Yeah. I think the biggest benefit, and J Max set up on this, so he might be able to touch on it too. I think the biggest element for setting up at a show as a dealer is what is presented to you a lot of times. Because sometimes people will bring stuff and you don't know that they have it with them. And sometimes they're just trying to make some money to then go buy something else at the show. And you might even be able to get a good deal on something. So that's what I found most interesting. Even though the few times I set up, I made profit at the show, it was still more interesting than when people ask, "Are you buying?" It, what is your experience like that on the dealer side?
I mean, it definitely evolved over time. At first, it's like Eric, was saying, was just trying to make my money back and just trying to the whole experience. But I remember the first time I set up was the first weekend of shows after COVID. When in my area when it opened up, and it was crazy insane at that point. Because people were back out. But so yeah, so the sort of my MO at to going to shows has just keeps on evolving. That's why I like last year, 2 years ago, I went to some bigger shows and stuff like that. Well, this past year, the last 6 months, I just kept it local so I can build up local contacts, local network, and be able to buy inventory, get to know local people, buy and trade and sell with people within a 5-hour radius of me. So I didn't go to any of the big shows that all these other YouTubers, all the vloggers go to. I was like, those are pointless because that's what happened. The big 300 to 500 table shows died, or they didn't necessarily die. It's just that 300 to 500 dealers, the hobby kind of wasn't able to sustain that amount, of people at shows to where every dealer was having a decent show. So the shows I try to go to are like 100 tables or less.
And the table fees are normally cheaper.
They're cheaper, and then I'm going to ones that are local that I might be able to connect with somebody that that we can hook up and do deals with coming up over the next year or two. You know what I mean?
Right,
So
right.
that network is key.
Jay Can here. He's touching on the 1099 thing. This is something I never get into this because I am not a tax professional, and everybody needs to understand every state is different. Because a little known fact, there is already several states in the United States that already has the $600 threshold. I am in Virginia, and we have had this will be our third year. It started in 2020, I believe. So the whole 1099 thing, that's new, no news to me. It's already been there. It's been a thing. And I think there's some states up in the Northeast that already have it. The Chicago or Illinois area might already have it. There's like, I think 5 different states at least that already have the $600 threshold. So again, as everybody says, you should be doing your taxes properly anyway, and you shouldn't need a 1099 provided. But I am not here to give tax advice or tell you what to do with your finances. So happy New Year. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, I had a new experience here in Arkansas, and then Alabama. I did a show in Alabama as well, and these two states are that you gotta pay taxes of sales that
Sales
day.
tax. Yep.
Yeah, so you get a form you fill out at the end of the show for all dealers. So, you know, um,
I think a
So
lot of people got way too excited about really all you did was delay the inevitable. And on top of delaying the inevitable, all you did was ingrain another year of bad habit. If you're excited about this, you're gotten away with nothing. It's
Yep.
okay, try it next time. Try it next time. I said, oh, but 1099, now I'll pay it. Okay. What if they go back and audit you? Oh, what did you make before? Oh, you suddenly needed 1099? Okay. What were you doing before?
And what people may not realize too, you won't just get an eBay 1099.
Mm-hmm.
You'll get, if you've done PayPal,
Mm-hmm.
if you've done Square, if you've done like all of those things out there, that all the little payment platforms, they'll all send you one. So
Mm-hmm.
just be prepared for that. You'll get many of them, not just one. So
Bubbles, if you remember, we talked about before the things that I do. So I don't have to worry about the 1099 thing because I'm in Canada. But at the same time, we talk about the whole thing, the stuff I do with PSA Canada. I've
yeah,
overly disclosed. I've disclosed openly that we have an arrangement where I get compensated for it. Not only do I have an arrangement where I get compensated for it, I ask them to withdraw taxes.
right,
We fill
right.
in the paperwork where it's attached to my SIN number. I can't hide it. Every dime I make is reported. So it's all being covered and it's being deducted. So what I get is actually after the tax has been deducted, but that'll go in with my tax paperwork.
Yeah,
It's
and
not
that's
worth
the
the
smart way
headache.
to do it.
It's not worth the headache to have to then deal with it on the back end and go, if after the fact they check, it's like, where did you come across this money? Where did this extra money come from?
Jake Hand said
I
he is
think the
going to
tax
get himself an Epson, so good luck with that. I'm hearing good things about the scanners. I may have to look into them, but I am also the hard head that didn't listen to my wife early on. It took me forever to buy a damn Rolo label
printer.
thermal printer. So I like doing
Well,
things the difficult way.
well,
Yes.
while we're talking about taxes, it's a tax write-off. So there's that too.
Yeah,
True.
that's true too. Yep.
Yep.
All right. Do we all agree that big YouTubers get loaded boxes? I will just quick answers if y'all want around the horn. Give your thoughts on this one.
I'm trying. It's not for lack of effort. For God's sake, what do I have to do to get the freaking loaded box? I want one.
I'm not a big YouTuber, but my boxes ain't loaded. I don't ever hit
Trust me, a
anything.
lot of the boxes suck. They're real bad. Real
Exactly.
bad. It's like if I'm getting the loaded one, then the rest of them are literally trash. Just throw them in directly into the bonfire now.
Yeah, but I don't know. I don't track it hard enough. Though, a lot of these topics that are going on. I'll listen to like one headline or one video and one headline. But once everyone's talking about it, then I jump out of the conversation. So,
yeah, I think people want that to be true. Like I think they want it to be true, but like the problem is the biggest YouTubers we have in the space are still minnows. Like in the grand scheme of actual YouTube, like
exactly, that's what I was
the
saying.
biggest sports card, everybody will go. Jeff Wilson has 200,000 subscribers. PewDiePie laughs. He can literally just sit there and stare at a screen for 20 minutes and get more views than Jeff can.
Jeff Wilson, being one of the top or the larger sports card create content people, is small in comparison to even Pokemon. If you think about that in perspective, there is how many Pokemon people that are way bigger than Jeff Wilson, who is arguably one of the largest content creators in sports cards. So, and believe me, I've watched some of those big guys in Pokemon rip boxes, and a lot of them try to build the sets. Sometimes they're opening box after box after box after box trying to get this one damn card, the best card in it. So I don't know what benefit it would give any of the manufacturers, honestly. If you've seen the best card get hit by someone on camera that is just doing like a product review, it kind of kills the product.
Well, that was always kind of my like I understand the idea. And I understand why some people really want this to be true. But I say, okay, so let's say you're doing it from a marketing perspective. Let's use that argument. Just for the sake of argument, let's say they're doing it. Great, the fix is in and they're doing this. Cool. After you pull the cool card, what's the point of opening a box? It's the opposite. Why on earth would I want to why would I want to open the box now? It's like being at the card shop and knowing that somebody pulled the best card out of this box now. The rest of these packs are tainted. Like they're actually less interesting if you know for a fact somebody just pulled the case hit or whatever. What is in the rest of that box?
Yeah, and that's kind of been my element to it. But speculations are always going to be out there. There's really it's just out for shits and giggles. The stream where I did the giveaway, I was having fun. I mixed all my packs up. I pulled one random pack out of that box. I marked it with a red mark on it, and sure as hell, it had the auto from the box, and it was also a red ink auto. That just shows how random and coincidental sometimes things could be. I do think the Topps red ink thing could have, they could have put that on there, but people needed to understand those packs were inside of a small box that was inside of a larger box that was then inside of a larger box for the entire case. So you had to get to each of those elements to even ever see that red mark. So anyway, let's see here. James says it's just awesome and exciting. He's talking about grading to get his cards back slab. James loves vintage. He has a really awesome collection, and he enjoys getting his cards graded just for his collection and display ability, which a lot of people, that's why they grade cards. So Bravos has a question for J Mac. Are you still collecting Christian McCaffrey? He had a good comeback year.
He's not with the Panthers anymore. I sold most of my stuff,
He loves the comeback year.
Yeah, I mean I kept a couple key cards. That one of them was just a special card I pulled from a pack, and then I kept an RPA. I sold everything else though. So yeah, no, not interested in buying any more McCaffrey.
A little secret that many may not know, most probably don't know, is I at one point owned an NT RPA with a sick patch of the Panther, like the mouth part of it, numbered out of 10. I did own that at one point. We will leave that there.
I had a nice one too. I had a nice one. I actually traded it for the RPA that I got. The RPA that I kept is the Origins, but I traded the NT for the Origins and a bunch of cash. So there's that.
Victor said, tread with caution before investing in Fujitsu scanner. I've got the 7160 and I'm struggling with mine. It works great for paper cards, but anything Chrome, I don't even bother anymore. I just use my Epson.
That's good feedback.
I have heard, I don't know all of the different ones, but I have heard that some don't work very well with the Chrome. They get stuck in them. Something about, I guess, the Chrome finish in the thickness of them doesn't go through it too well.
Yeah. Well, and I mean they were, which is why I didn't want to make a video, because if you run them through without a penny sleeve or
I don't know where it went.
That sounds to me like they were out to get him.
I don't know if
he was about to denounce the Fujitsu or whatever, and Fujitsu got him.
Somebody got him. I'll go through comments real quick because I am way behind.
Yeah,
let's see. What are the thoughts on the grading wars and grading price points? CSG extended theirs through January. I don't know exactly where they'll wind up at. I think PSA theirs just started the $19 thing yesterday.
Yep.
Got J Mac back now.
Fujitsu got you, didn't they? They got you.
And now he can't hear us. Holy
I can hear you. I got you.
Okay.
We're in the middle of there's tornado watches and all this other stuff going on right now.
Oh, that's right. I was watching that weather guy, Ryan Hall, y'all.
Yeah.
That does the weather stuff. I forgot that was supposed to be coming through there. If you need to go, man, feel free, be safe, because I know you're out there in that shed, so I don't want you in any bad weather or whatever.
Yeah.
But either way, I appreciate you jumping on. Just if you need to go, make sure you're safe. That's first and foremost.
For sure.
But
I appreciate the invite.
My grading war thoughts, I think they'll test it out probably for the first quarter on current pricing, see what demand is. Hell, let's just go here. We will just do this real quick.
Well, I can help people with this real quick. Beckett sucks. Don't use them, and just focus on any other company but them. There you go. Done.
So this was December, and you can see here PSA cracked 1 million again. Certified Collectible Group did 110,000. SGC 78. Eric's company, they're slacking. They only did 48,000. And I'm
Good.
going to tell you what's interesting to note here. CSG and CGC both dropped double-digit percentages, but they still were over 2x what Beckett did. That should be alarming to Beckett. We'll see if they change. The other interesting note here is SGC is doing 3 times as much as Beckett in sports, and then CGC is doing 3 times as much as Beckett in TCG stuff. I'm PSA is dominating as usual, but
Right, of course.
they're three-time marker here and 3-time marker here, so here to here. So Beckett's getting their ass whooped in both sports and TCG by the companies outside of PSA. So I think they'll see how the first quarter rolls and then maybe do some adjustments after that. But
I just love seeing those numbers going down.
man,
because like you said, you hope Beckett's going to say, "Oh crap, look at this," and they're going to start making real change and doing something, and bringing that company back. But we've been watching this fall from grace for years now, and we're watching these numbers just get worse and worse and worse, and they do nothing. So I just wait till the company.
J-Mac, have a good one. Pleasure talking to you.
Yeah, I just wanted to say bye before I rolled out.
All right, man. Be safe. Thank you again for hopping on. We'll have to do this again, definitely.
Yep.
Take
Nice
care.
to meet you. Nice to meet
You too,
you.
man.
Nice to meet you.
All right.
And I have 3 minutes.
Yes, sir. I just wanted to get to this because this is how damn far behind I am on the chat. I appreciate all you guys over in the chat. Y'all have been great tonight. But James said he agrees with me. All Boston teams are cheap. And Sean says, Bougie Eric is triggered. Hi, Joe. BGS slabs.
Facts.
And then Victor is showing some love, saying he loves the way you say rookie card. He might have to get that as a voice recording so he can put it on his intro or something. The rookie card specialist.
You're only 20 minutes behind. You're going to have to zip through a lot of
Bro,
comments.
I am
real
way
quick.
behind. I didn't realize. Normally I'm on live. Nobody talks.
Oh,
So I'm glad.
look,
that
we're
chat's
here and they're
enjoying it.
talking. We're here and they're talking. You got to read the comments.
Brian says, I absolutely made more than enough for the table. It was well worth it. He sold a huge card all cash.
Congratulations.
And
That's great.
He made the table fee with his dollar boxes.
Awesome.
The Mrs. also comments, we made enough when we set up for with dollar boxes to cover our fees.
Yep. Awesome.
Let's see. And Gloria says, people calculate the cost of the table wrong. You need to account for what you could have just sold the cards on eBay for. Too many people want crazy deals at shows.
They do.
There's pros and cons to every way you do it. Mrs. said, but you can sell a decent amount less than eBay and still make more profit than on eBay, depending. That is true. Trust me, the government is going to get their money eventually. That's Jim in Florida. Yes, sir.
I tend to agree, yeah.
If you're selling for anything less than 85% of eBay at a show, then you are better off selling online. I normally calculate somewhere in that 85 to 90%, so he is not wrong there. Let's see. As long as you price your stuff fairly, you'll move. Your stuff will move fast. $300 sales and under sales were happening very fast. I think this is also show specific and like genre and what you have. If you're at a show and everybody's got the same thing, I've noticed it's a lot less interesting, and people normally tend to say that it wasn't very successful for them. Guns, my boy Canton Card Collector. Got to get him on here sometime. I need to get him on here. He said his eBay 1099 helped him with his taxes. Let's see. Mrs. agrees that I rarely listen the first time and tell him, yeah, and she's not wrong. I'm not even going to pretend. There's so many boxes produced. Most of them are trash. Well, I guess that depends if it's the marked ones or not. I know people criticize Backyard. I personally hate them, but they're opening thousands of boxes co-mapped to our 2 boxes. Of course, they get the hits. I don't really watch them, but yeah, it's a volume thing. And the more you open, the better you're going to get, obviously.
And some of it is also selection bias. Like when you're listening to it, I think selection bias, I forget right now, but it's like we only pay attention to what we're seeing. If it's in front of us, we're going to assume, that happens all the time. It's like, actually, it doesn't happen all the time. It's like you're paying closer attention. It's like when somebody tells you every car is a blue car, and all of a sudden you see every blue car on the road, even though it's the exact same amount as before. You're seeing it now because you're paying attention to it.
I know
right,
you need to
boys.
go, sir. It's 9
9
o'clock.
p.m. I'm gonna go hang out with my mom. Good seeing both of you, of course. I hope to see you, Baubles, on Friday. Carlos, I will see you on Friday. And hope everyone has a good night, and everyone in the chat, Happy New Year. All right.
Enjoy the game.
Thanks.
Take it easy.
Thanks, man.
Adios.
Enjoy it. Enjoy. Good luck to whatever team you guys root for. I'm guessing Buffalo, but good luck.
We just enjoy watching football together. Long as it's a good game, we're happy.
Say hi to
All
Mrs.
right.
Wade for me.
I will
Yeah.
pass it on.
Go hang out with your mom, man, and enjoy it. Thank you again.
Have a good one.
All right. I also, to the point of the volume thing, it's like going into your whatever choice of retail outlet, and let's say there's 10 boxes on the shelf. Your mental mind is like, if I buy 2, the hits are going to be in one of these. But then if you buy all of them, you may not hit anything anyway. So it's like a literal battle. You could have a 1-pack and get the biggest hit, or you could have 10 cases and not get the biggest hit. So it's too damn random. Let's just be real. Like you always say, just open hockey. Even most not so popular boxes are fun breaks with good value. Hockey is fun, not going to lie. The missus agrees. She loves Upper Deck Series 1 and 2. Could open cases on cases and still have fun with it.
That sounds like a
Not
threat.
lying.
Continue.
Upper Deck Flagship is always a blast. I completely agree. Let's see. Jay says, Eric, response dealer question. Yes, profit from sales versus cost of table. Real problem is time and annoyance. My main objective was to connect with collectors, and via January through November, that decreased.
Yeah,
Well,
Jay does a lot of non-sport. So for him, it's I'll just kind of speak. And Jay, good evening. It's kind of speaking to that he does enjoy having the conversations with folks, chatting about the cards because he's basically looking for his people. He wants to have
Right.
fun conversation with folks, and of course, he's willing to sell them stuff, and of course, that'd be good as well. But it's just having good conversation with folks that are interested in the stuff, or get the stuff, or like the stuff, or whatever.
Yeah, but that makes sense. He said it was his objective was to connect with collectors and make that connection, especially if he's in more niche area. A show is a good way. If people come up to his table and show interest, he could connect. And niche stuff, it's always great to build a community and meet more people. So
exactly.
Jay Can says 2022 football cards are all about Brock Purdy. Go Niners. Brock Purdy to the moon. Third string quarterbacks for the win. He is taking the Niners somewhere else. I'm not going to, talk too bad on him, but it will be interesting to see if he keeps a starting job and continues having success. Bravos, do you guys think SGC is dropping an app this year? I've heard that is possible, but I don't want to say yay or nay because I honestly do not know, and I don't want to. I don't want to be wrong.
Tell your development team to get on it, Bobbles. Crack the whip over there. What are you doing?
I know I am supposed to know everything as the owner of the company, but I don't. So I don't want to mislead anyone. Three Rivers says, I've been finding decent value on Beckett's slabs since I don't hate their stuff. I enjoy the discounts. Hey, again, collect the card, not the slab. That's the simplest way to go about this process. J Max says, thanks for the invite. He's going to jump off. Catch y'all later in the chat. I appreciate it, sir. Again, stay safe. Anybody down in that southern area, I do know that there's supposed to be some nasty storms hitting. So hopefully you guys stay safe.
Yeah, you might want to zip through a little bit faster through them because apparently there's a thing going on in the football game, and that's towards the end of the chat. But keep going.
Carlos says, tag is up 12 cards this month. I have not done their numbers today. I got to remember to do that. Gunn says CSG will be the biggest threat to PSA and may possibly surpass them in the future. That would be interesting. Not a Boston fan of any teams, but the way the Bruins got off the bus and entered the game today was awesome. They had baseball jerseys on.
Oh, okay.
It's crazy how PSA is grading 500,000 non-sport and TCG cards. I would think it is difficult to hit a 10 on Pokemon or non-sports. Pokemon actually grades really well because even though they pump a lot of cards out, their quality is usually good, especially Japanese. Chat comes alive when Carlos and Eric are on. No doubt. Y'all have been awesome tonight. All of you guys. Card show attendance is still super high, but most dealers say that much money isn't being spent. Prices are still low or still too high at shows. The one I
Agreed.
went to Friday was not good. I did not
Mhm.
purchase a damn thing. Pokemon is there's
Mhm.
AP confirming what I said. Jay says I have charged my like button to Eric just because. Appreciate you, Jay.
Love it, Jay.
Oh crap! Ambulance on the field at the football game. Not cool. Well, that's not good.
There'll be some more comments about it.
Now that Eric is gone, I'll say he's a nice guy. We won't tell. A Bills player just collapsed. Oh damn. They may stop this football game if this guy passes out on the field. Prayers they can save him. Agree, hand prayers up. And Gunn said, "What happens to Trey Lance if Purdy gets the Niners to the Super Bowl?" So, damn. Again, as Ham and Sean alluded to, prayers up. Who does anybody know who it was?
I'm just trying to do a little bit of a check here. I don't have the game on, but I'm just trying to see if I can get a little info.
Yeah,
here.
damn. I never want to hear of anybody like injuries suck no matter what, but man, uh, a new year at that, and damn. I don't know if anybody has posted in here or not. I don't see anything. And I actually had thought about putting my iPad up with the game on. Damar Hamlin, they're doing CPR. Oh shit. Safety for the Bills. They've been working on him on the field for 10 minutes. Wow. That's not... What the hell could happen? I'm not familiar with who he is. Let's see.
I'm just watching a quick scan. I'm watching a quick replay. It looks like a normal play. He was actually given a tackle and he just falls.
And he's only 24. Holy hell.
Yep. No, it looks like he just had a normal play. He was actually the tackler. He gets up, he's standing, and then he just falls.
Wow. Well, in all seriousness, guys, I know we joke around a lot and all that, and these dudes that go out there and play these sports, they put a lot on the line. You know, I know to us it's a game, and I know they make a lot of money and all that stuff, but they do risk livelihood with injuries, concussions, and obviously whatever happened here is even more serious. So you know, I'm not familiar with him as a player, but hopefully for him and his family and the team and everybody else, uh, everything is okay. But it's not sounding like it. So, but you guys, y'all have been great tonight. Carlos, you, Eric, and J Mac, I really appreciate you guys. Um, the topics that we've discussed tonight too, I think it was a good variety, and definitely appreciate Eric's views on the addiction thing. I'm glad that you're have already thought to discuss it more on Friday and everything. Again, you know, not to be repetitive here, but I experienced it early on, and it was more with the breaking side. But this can happen in many different levels. You know, whether it's just even collecting, it doesn't even have to be anything like buying aspect of it. You could collect too much if that's ever a thing to where it becomes almost hoarding. So there's many different aspects to that level, addiction, etc. Well, obviously in many different aspects in life. Um, so anyway, um, I'm gonna actually. That's got me shook up, man, because I don't know what's going on with this dude, and I don't even know how to proceed when focus is on the football game and a guy being down and they're doing CPR. So
Right.
honestly, I don't know how to even proceed with this. So what I am going to say is I do appreciate all of you. Thank you guys for a hell of a 2022. I hope we all can have an amazing 2023, and you know, both in our lives as well as the hobby and friendships and the community and all of that stuff. Um, it's been an awesome 3+ years now, meeting everybody, made a lot of friendships, all of you guys in the damn chat. You know, the ones I've met personally and the ones I just talk to damn near daily. Y'all are all great, and I see big things for everybody this year. So I'm going to cut it there, though. Prayers up to DeMar Hamlin. Appreciate all of you, Carlos, J Mac, and even Eric. Hit that like button for him. Make him feel special. Show him your appreciation. But even Eric, I appreciate him coming on. And hope you all have a wonderful night. As always, stay safe, stay healthy. And until the next video, I'm out.